Today I'll be showing you how to set up defaults and how to assign them to other users. Once you log into the software, make sure you're logging into the admin user because it only has the privileges to be able to do the tax form defaults. Go to the tool menu, select Edit Tax Form Defaults, select the package of whichever one that you're wanting to do, so I'm going to select the 1040. I'm going to hit Yes. This is where I'm going to set up my defaults and bring in the forms that I know that I'm going to widely use with almost every single return. As you can see, the 1040 is already here with the ACA and so forth. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to enter the bank product. I'm also going to select EPS so that the EPS forms pull into the return itself. I'm also going to come down here, enter my 5-digit ERO PIN. I'm going to select check here if using practitioner PIN, and I'm also going to select the income tax. And then I'm going to scroll down here, I'm going to hit I authorize, and then I'm going to come down here and make sure to fill out my third-party designee and my preparer information. Once I've filled this out, then I can go ahead and start bringing in forms that I know that I'm going to widely use, like a W-2 or a 1099 or a Schedule C, things like that. So I'm going to type in W-2. I'm going to double click on the form and bring it in here. I'm also, because most customers have EIC, so I'm going to go back to Add Form, Display Form, and type in EIC. And I'm going to bring in the Schedule EIC, the EIC worksheet, and then of course the 8867, because that's my due diligence. Once I have pulled in all the forms that I know that's going to get widely used on almost every single return and filled out my defaults, then I can come over to the prep use form, enter a question like I have here. How did you hear about us? Underneath the answer, if you right click and you go to edit history list, you'll be able to enter the answers, like I've got email, newspaper, Facebook, etc. That way they can pull the drop down and see the answers and choose one of them. It's great for marketing purposes. I can also come over here to where it says, how did you hear about us? Hit my F3 key to highlight it in red so the tax preparer can come over here and fill out the answer to the question, so when you run a report you can see what marketing avenue was the best option for you for the 2018 season. And then I'm going to come over here to the pricing list and I'm going to enter all of my pricing. That way it flows on to the bank application and you can easily come in here and tell the customer how much it's going to be. Now, when you're setting up your tax form defaults, you can create a default for all of the users in the office, or you can create one for each user and what they do in the office. Like, let's say you have somebody who does mostly bank products, then you can create a bank product one. Or if you have somebody that just does business returns, then you can create the business returns and you can assign it to that user. So the way that that works is once you're finished setting up everything as far as the tax form defaults, go ahead and close the return. It's going to bring you back over to tasks you do most often. Come over to the tool menu and go over here to the Utility Setup Assistant. Then go to File and go to Return Explorer. Under the File options, go to Show, scroll up until you select Tax Form Defaults. For the individual package and for the current year, it's always going to be 8I and a bunch of zeros. So go ahead and select it and select under Actions, Copy Files to another location. This is where it automatically defaults to all users, but if you're going to create one for each individual user, then you can do the drop down and select the user that you want it to go to. Once you hit copy, it'll bring up the status file copy was successful. Just hit OK and close it. So in order to create a default for any of the rest of the users, you'll have to go back into your tax form defaults by going to Tools and going to Edit Tax Form Defaults, selecting the package, and then changing it to suit the other users in the office. And then once you're done with that, go back into the utility setup to copy it to the other user.